The PRINCE2 Foundation exam. So here I'm going to tell you, well, give you good information about the PRINCE2 Foundation exam. First of all, the duration. So how long is it? Well, it's 60 minutes or 1 hour. And the number of questions, well, we have 1 question per minute, so that's 60 questions. Then the type of questions we actually get in the exam. Well, there'll be a question and then you will have 4 choices of possible answers. So A, B, C, or D. So it's a multiple choice exam. Then what's the pass rate? Well, out of those 60 questions, you have to get 36% correct. So that's 60% which you have to get in the exam in order to pass. Now, another common question I get is, can you use the manual? And the answer is no. PRINCE2 Foundation is considered a closed book manual, while PRINCE2 Practitioner is an open book manual. But don't worry about that, because you wouldn't have time to look the manual up anyway, because it's the way the exam questions are designed that this is information which you will bring with you into the exam. Now, the PRINCE2 Foundation exam is mainly about remembering the vocabulary. It's not really testing about how you apply PRINCE2 in a real project. So again, it's more focused on testing your recall of PRINCE2 vocabulary. Now let me tell you how the exam is divided up. Well, at the beginning of the training, we spent a little bit of time on introducing you to PRINCE2 and to the benefits, the characteristics. Well, actually, that only covers 3% of the exam. However, it's important we cover that because a lot of other information is based on that. Okay, so that's the foundation for the foundation exam, let's say. Then the principle section. So those 7 principles actually give us 8% of the exam. So knowing the principles well is a good idea as well. Then that people section, which we covered, that actually covers 14% of the exam. So having a good knowledge of that is a good idea. And then you'll find that the main, let's say, part of the whole PRINCE2 Foundation syllabus is actually focused on practices. So the PRINCE2 practices, understanding them and how they're applied, and that's a total of 60%. So 60% of all questions in the exam are somehow based on the PRINCE2 practices. And then lastly, we have the processes, so in understanding them and how they work, and that's 15%. Good. Now, how to take the exam. So 99% of people will take the exam online. So how does that work? Well, you'll register, let's say a week beforehand. You'll say, I can do the exam at that particular time. You will install some software on your PC. This software is called Exam Shield. Make sure you install that a couple of days beforehand to make sure that it works on your PC, because you may need to borrow a PC from somebody else just in case there is a problem. It's considered a proctored exam. What does that mean? Well, proctored exam means that you will have your webcam on and someone is watching you while you're taking the exam. So that way they can check that everything is going okay. Now, what else to tell you here? Yeah, it's a good idea then to practice the questions that you already have to make sure that you're ready for the exam as well.